So let me begin by telling you a little bit about ourselves. So I've been doing this for since 2005. So 2002 to 2005, I did my training at UCLA and Cedars. Then when I finished, I was became a partner in a office for about. I was there for about 10 years, and then what I realized was that the themes that I wanted to promote, like sense of community, that caring, that getting the job done but doing it in a positive environment wasn't what I was a part of. So then I started my own place, and out of the 15 initial employees, 12 of them came with me. So all of the embryologists, my business manager, etc. So all the team that's been together for 10 plus years. What we focus on is third-party production. About 80% of our patients are from outside of the country or outside of the LA area. We actually have an office in Beijing, but we also work closely with offices in Austria, in Israel, in Australia, all over Europe. So we have a pretty big presence all over. We have over 300 children that are born to gay couples in Italy alone. So we're probably the biggest providers to gay couples in Italy. We actually hired a professor from the University of Milan to do research in surrogacy and to kind of spread the word about research about surrogacy in the U.S., how it's so different than what's been presented to the world as in India, Nepal, etc. So this is kind of what we live and breathe 7 days a week. We provide everything under one roof. You don't have to go look for a donor agency, surrogacy agency. If something happens, you don't have to worry about who do you call. It's just us.
So you do full surrogacy?
Everything. So when you come on board, basically you get assigned a concierge, third-party coordinator. Let's say you need a ride from the airport, you need to book a hotel, you want to know where to go shopping or eating, they'll do everything for you. Okay. And then we'll get your blood, urine, and semen specimen. We freeze it away. We have donors, so we have donors of every persuasion, Caucasian, Asian. We have them frozen away if you want to use frozen eggs. We have them available fresh if you want to do fresh. So we make the embryos. All of our patients they choose to undergo PGS testing. So we would genetically test the sperm provider and the egg donor for autosomal recessive disorders, and then the embryo gets PGS tested, so it's as thorough as it can be done. The PGS testing, we look for aneuploidies, and also that's missing chromosomes. We also look for missing pieces of chromosomes, so that dramatically improves our success rate and lowers our miscarriage rate. Okay, and then your concierge will email you your report, get a consultation like phone, Skype, etc. We'll go over. You have 3 healthy boys, 4 healthy girls. We have a drive-through window. We'll put your order in, and that's what you get out. We do 1 or 2, no more than 2 embryo transfers, but we do a decent amount of twins because, frankly, a lot of our couples, they're not obscenely wealthy, and they know they'll only be able to do this once, and they want to be able to put in 2 babies, one from each partner, and that's what we do. So a lot of the donors that we promote in this type of circumstances are donors that make 25-30 eggs plus. That means we split a donor cycle between both of you, and we get the embryos done, and then we put 1 embryo in from each, and we even have a guaranteed live birth packet since we control everything.
So do you have surrogates then? Do you also do surrogates?
We have donors and surrogates. If you go, the website is called laeggdonors.com and lasurrogacy.com. So they both goes to the same page. And we have, over a dozen surrogates that are ready to go right now. We can get people matched usually within a week or 2. And so we actually like to match after we have the embryos made because it makes for a good position for you guys. So if you have a surrogate, they're applying at different agencies, they're doing whatever, and let's say there's a couple from China, and she's 42 years old, she hasn't even started the IVF process, we don't know if we're going to get normal embryos or not, versus we say, hey, these are donor-derived embryos, tested normal, ready to go. And the surrogate's like, who would I rather go with? right? So that way we can get a quality surrogate to go, rather than get the process started, wait for the embryos to be made, because then not only is it harder to track somebody because they don't know, are you going to go right away, are you going to wait? And then whenever we get the process started with the surrogate, they want to sign a contract. As soon as you sign a contract, then you have to pay for a monthly stipend and their insurance. And insurance is going higher and higher. So you're looking at about $1,000 a month that you're on the hook for, and you don't even have embryos ready to go. Why would you want to do that? So as soon as you have the embryos, then we match you with a surrogate. It takes a couple of weeks to get the contract done. We can get it done as quickly as 24 hours if you like, but we don't like that because it's kind of too much rush. So we give about 2 weeks for the contract to get done. And then 5 to 6 weeks after that, we can do the transfer. And then fast forward, so with the pregnancy test result, you'll get an update. We record the embryo transfer, we record the pregnancy scans, you hear the heartbeat, you see the baby moving, all of those things are emailed to you. If you want to be present, that's great, but if you can't be, you're definitely a part of the process. And at the delivery, one of our employees is there, and we orchestrate everything inside. So you get a list of things you need to purchase for the, to get ready, etc., car seats, bottles, whatever. So all of that's taken care of. We, during the delivery, you get to cut the cord. We make sure you're in the room or the operating room, delivery room or operating room, wherever it is. Kind of the handoff, just everything is done, taken care of. We help you get the birth certificates, make sure things are stable. If you need a place to stay, let's say the babies come early, so we have room you can get at a house for this inexpensive, close to the hospital. So all those details are met. We even had a couple from China that was unable to make it for a few days right after the delivery. And we got the power of attorney. We took care of the baby while we waited for the parents to arrive. So there's never this situation where, is this the doctor's responsibility? Is it the surrogacy agency's responsibility? Who's going to help us? We're always there.
So is all this happening in LA?
It can happen anywhere. It's interesting. We went to the Men Having Babies conference in San Francisco. And on the flight over there, we met this wonderful couple, and they wanted to have a baby in Hawaii. They lived in San Francisco, but they had a vacation house on the Big Island, and they wanted to move there and kind of raise their child there. So we found them a surrogate in Hawaii. Their egg donor is, I want to say she's from LA, but it's wherever you want it to be. Where are you guys located?
Seattle. You cannot, surrogacy is, you can't do surrogacy. Well, we know the law in Washington, you can't do it right now.
Yeah.
It may change in the next year, but right now it is not legal.
Yeah, no, we have a lot of patients from like Vancouver area, and we have 3 patients right now from Seattle. They actually work for Microsoft. They have very good coverage. They're doing donor surrogacy. We prefer LA for most of our patients because we can keep a closer eye on it for you. And but even we can provide surrogates in Oregon. We have a big group up there for us, if that's closer, if you like that better. But it's just an hour longer flight, so it's not a big deal. Okay. The surrogacy laws in California are amazing. So the state Congress or Senate, whatever you call it, the state assembly has passed laws specifically about surrogacy. They've outlined how it should happen. Both sides need a lawyer. We need an escrow account, how funding should happen. So it's very clear that it's allowed, it's legal. It's not, in some states it's just not illegal and people think it's legal.
Oregon is not illegal. It's got case law, but it's not neither here nor there. They have not made any laws about it, so therefore it's legal.
Yeah. So and that's the opposite in California. They've made laws about surrogacy, acknowledging it. In fact, there's California pamphlets on pre-birth orders for surrogacy, and then the cases have gone to the Supreme Court. And the most important precedent was set in 1993, that the baby belongs to the intended parents and the surrogate has no rights over the baby, and it's been upheld since then. So there's really strong support for surrogacy in California. And the pre-birth order is filed around 15 to 20 weeks, and it's clear directions for the hospital clerk as to the names that go on the birth certificate. And it's not the options of the court to allow it or not. It's mandatory that the judge approves it. And it's not an option for the clerk to abide by it or not. He or she has to use directions in the pre-birth order, so it's very straightforward.
You're very thorough, and we're reaching the end of day 2, and so we're getting to the point
A
of
little overwhelmed.
what questions I'm not sure yet anymore.
Okay, so I think the main couple of things I would ask you is like think about the donor that you want. Have you guys thought about?
The egg donor? Probably either Caucasian or Asian, just one or the other, obviously.
How about a mix? We have a beautiful donor who's half Chinese, half Welsh. That might be interesting. Her name is Jade. She's a gorgeous girl. She's a librarian. It's odd to find a librarian this day and age, right? But she's fairly tall, great egg producer. She's doing her second donation for me right now. But very, very sweet girl. That would be interesting. That way you're. And then the other aspects that we haven't covered are the financial aspects. So we offer 3 different packets, depending on what's appropriate for you. They're overall under 3 titles. So you have the all-inclusive. That's kind of the middle of the road. It includes all of the potential costs that you would have, and includes up to 2 transfers. And then you have the a la carte pricing. So that's just the IVF cycle with the PGS. Everything else is extra, the egg donor meds, the surrogacy meds, legal, surrogacy insurance, all of that is separate. And then we have the guaranteed live birth. So that's one price that you pay, and you're guaranteed to have at least 1 live birth. So if you want twins, we put in 2 babies, and that's what you get. If we only get 1, then you get refunded the rest of the money between the 1 versus 2.